Hi,
Hi
everybody.
everyone.
We're back.
Yes, we had to. We had to. I'm Senzi.
I'm Lele.
Welcome to Meaningful Conversations. So the previous segment was on divorce. So we're tackling this issue because we've also come across people that have said please share your own stories. About the subject because it is a very sensitive subject, and I think it helps when you already have gone through it because you are speaking from a point of or a place of having experienced it. The previous segment we were still on our journeys, and how we felt right at the beginning, right. At the beginning of it, and the questions that and stuff that we went through. So now we are still on it. Let's go ask the questions.
I'm gonna ask the questions. I feel better when I ask the questions because I can think about that.
Hey, yeah, man.
So, so we're back again. First question that I have is, what would you say, Senzi, to the Senzi who was going through the most through this, you're going through the process, you had divorce. What would you say to you that you didn't know then that you know now? Like, what would you say to yourself, basically?
Like I was actually, and today we were talking about it. Already, I was just reflecting on where I was and the kind of space I was in 2 years ago. Because the other thing is that I was not only going through the divorce. My mom also passed away around that time, and so there was a whole lot of things that were happening at the same time, And what I could have told Senzi was that it will pass, It will pass. It is going to be intense before it does, but one day you're going to be smiling. You're going to smile again. But I'm grateful that you gave me that song, Alicia Keys. I used to play it, and kind of go, it looked like it will never happen. Like it looked like I will never experience what she's talking about.
I remember.
Because what's that song? Alicia
Wait
Keys?
till you see my smile.
Wait till you see my smile. And I remember back then, even when I was trying to fake it, like I was like. And immediately when I tried it, I start crying like, then I smile, and here I am smiling, So I'm grateful that I look forward to seeing that smile one day. Wait until you see that smile. It will come. It will come, but be committed to the process.
Sure.
Commit yourself to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow. All right. Okay. I thought it was easy, but there we go. What I would say to myself, sure. I would hug myself first of all. Like I would just hug myself. Like I still feel like I need that hug, guys. It's I feel like I need. Because I think at the time when you're going through that, you feel like affection is the last thing on your mind. And when I say affection, guys, I just mean a hug, like a real intimate but hug, pure. Just somebody that you could. Because I don't have a father. I don't have a father. I have uncles, but they're not always around. And I do have brothers, but. They are more consumed by the anger of the whole situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would hug myself. I would say, I would tell myself that you're not a failure. I would tell myself that you're not a failure because of this. I would tell myself that you are not lesser of a person because of what you're going through. I would say that you're beautiful. I would say that because, people feel like some things are secondary, but, it's so funny. The soul of a woman, you need to all of this, even though it don't sink in, but it's important. I would say that like what she said, you're gonna get through this. And also, I would say that don't allow yourself to, because sometimes you have an internal conflict and anger, and sometimes you take it out on the people around you at the time. And I remember, I have awesome brothers. I remember they would be trying to help me with the baby and stuff, and, bathing, and I remember just being like, not receiving it, but in retrospect, I look back and I'm like, wow, these men are kings, because they were there at the time, and they didn't know what to do, they didn't know what to say. But I feel like that's the thing about guys. Sometimes they don't know what to do as a man, but they to say, but there's that thing of, I just want to do something to help, and I saw that, and so I would tell myself, the pain, the anger that you're feeling is not really for them. It's inside. It's a lot of things that you still need to deal with inside, And yeah, I would say, slow down, like chill. Don't rush the process. Even though I didn't rush it, but I feel like it was just grace. But I would say, don't rush the process, and it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine.
I think I like the other thing that you said. You're beautiful.
Yeah.
You don't feel it. It's fine. Your worth and your value is not attached.
Absolutely.
To your mistakes.
Absolutely.
And what I realized also was, like you said in the previous segment, Tori, you came out a different person. Allow yourself, to go through it and be committed to it, because it's different. You're going through a different phase. You're gonna be different. Be a good different. Be a good different.
Sure.
Be the different that, Luena, when you look back at who you were, it causes you to smile. And like we said, we base and the guidelines that we have are from the Bible. So even with encouragement, even with redirection and teaching, and I know one of the difficult things is that it makes it so difficult to have to like, outside of everything else that you deal with, divorce is the most trickiest of them all, especially when you're Christian, because you are ostracized, to some extent. Maybe it's different for everybody, but I think for me, I was just so guarded and so protected, because I had you, and I had good friends around me, and I was supported, So it might not be the same for everybody. Some people, I've heard stories where people are ostracized with a divorce, even though you were in a place where it was such a toxic relationship that it's either divorce or death. Okay, so if there's anything that I can say is that this is your journey. It's a journey. It's a journey, and do not concern yourself with what others think around you. It's a journey. You know your truth. Because it's for me to tell you that the shoe that I'm wearing is very painful. It's like you can a person will advise you and be like, but it looks so good though. Wear it a little bit more. You don't want to take it off. It looks so good on you though. But you're the only one that feels the pain. And at that point, you have to decide: are you still going to hold on to the pain because of the appearances, of keeping up appearances, or are you going to be true to yourself and take the shoe off? Okay, that one. So yeah, it's an individual's journey.
Yeah, that is true. That is just, yeah. And sometimes the ostracizing, like, because I feel like personally there was a lot of projecting I was doing. Sometimes it's within, within, outside. Sometimes it's what you think and what you perceive in your mind because of what you're going through, and like what they say, hurting people hurt. They hurt others. So
Wow. Yeah.
You know, it was important to because also I had to identify with a lot of things that I didn't like. For instance, I had a lot of I say hate, baby tankas for that thing when you harboring something against somebody, like resentment. I had a lot of resentment. And then I had a lot of trust issues, you know, and some of them have not been put to the test. Like, I'm not saying I've passed it or whatever because I haven't been in a relationship.
Yeah.
So maybe I still have those issues, you know, but but it came out with your trust issues, and I like what you said, Uri. Be careful of who you want to be at the end of this, because I feel like a lot of times we hang on to the anger, we hang on to the pain, because it's all you know at the time. And there's that thing of, if I let go of the anger, you feel like you're letting go of, I don't know, your pride or your sense of you as a person. But you know, like somebody was saying, you can't drink the pain, I mean the poison, and expect somebody else to die from it. You know, that anger, resentment, hatred, all of those feelings. Yes, you feel hurt, you feel whatever, but how you respond to it is very, very important, because you're gonna face that person in the mirror, and what's more important is the children. Like, you know, we all want to be better people for our children, and sometimes we look at it from a perspective of wealth and being able to provide for them, but the best provision you can do for your kids or have for your kids is being a better person. And sometimes that's why, unfortunately, divorce sometimes is what people do, because you feel like if I stay, I'm going to be such an unhappy person and I'm going to affect this child. So yeah, but like we said, we're not saying, and I'm not saying leave your marriage because you're not happy by no means, because, you know, relationships are relationships. Which leads me to the next question, Yahori. What has marriage and divorce taught you about relationships?
Okay, so marriage. Firstly, I do want to get married. So, having had been married has taught me what I can love. I can give of myself.
Sure.
I can sacrifice. I can compromise. I can allow someone else to take my time, and you know, and I can build someone else up. I can nurture. I can nurture someone else outside of just, you know, being selfish about myself. So yeah, I think marriage taught me not to be selfish, you know, and so self-centered and wanting to, you know, just and having it all be about me. You know, marriage has taught me that. And what divorce has taught me is, it has taught me that, you know, there are no guarantees, there's no certainties, you know. I don't think anyone gets married to get divorced. I didn't get married to get divorced. I got married and I thought, that's it, I'm done, you know. Here I am. So divorce has taught me that there are no guarantees and there are no certainties. But for me, what it has done, it has brought me closer to the only true certainty, which is God, me, and the only true guarantee, which is God, me. And I'm happy with that. I'm good. I'm okay with everything around me not making sense or being uncertain, and, you know, not being able to like have there's no security really, you know. And it's not even from a point of, if I give a whole lot more, I'm gonna get a whole lot more. You know, that is what it has taught me, because I gave up a lot in marriage. I gave up a whole lot in marriage. Didn't get it in return. You know what I mean? But that is also okay. That's fine. I know now that as a person, as a character, I'm capable of, you know, of doing that. I've been molded up in such a way that I've been able to do things I never thought I was able to do. You know? So that is what it has taught me. And beyond that, it has really taught me that God is real more than anything, and He's true. You know, He's real, He's true to every single promise that He makes. Yeah, That's what it taught me.
It's beautiful, yeah. Sure, marriage. You guys, I learned forgiveness. Yeah, like, sure. I learned the importance of forgiveness. Like, I remember, I think that was a lesson I had to learn very quickly for me.
Phew, yes.
What I mean is that the two people have to forgive one another, you know, all the time. All the time, you know. So I learned that.
Yeah.
I learned that whatever issue you haven't dealt with, it's gonna come.
It's magnified.
It's magnified because the thing is, me and Senzi, we see each other. We don't live with each other.
Yeah.
And sometimes we may get on each other's whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact that she can be there and I can be here, I can have time to think on my own. I think I messed up here. I need to be humble. And maybe I could see it, but she can forgive me there, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But now when you stay with the person, it's like, this person just made me mad now. And there's that thing, you know? Yeah. So now you have to forgive if you want to have a healthy marriage.
Yeah.
And to talk, you know, people can't tell what you're thinking. You have to communicate it. You can communicate it like I have it with my son. Like, you can show me your emotions.
Yeah.
But it's okay. If you can't express them, I don't know how to deal with them. Well,
yeah.
I can see you crying, and it's not nice to watch you crying. But if you don't tell me, I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know what you're going through. So I feel like also seeing it with him is convicting me that, you know, it's important to communicate, you know, in a healthy way, you know. So I learned that in
That's
marriage.
True.
In a healthy way. And that takes a lot of reflection and humility, because I have to look at I like the scripture when it says, the log in your eye, you know, don't look at the splinter in your brother's eye. What about the log in your eye? And I feel like for me, it helps me to, when I have issues, I think it's a way of saying, okay, just go inside yourself and see where you're going wrong. And when I see that, it helps me to approach an issue from a healthy, balanced perspective. And then when it comes to divorce, what it taught me about relationships, I think going through the process of divorce, in terms of relationships and marriage as well, I feel like I've learned marriage is not just between the two of you, man. And when you divorce, that's another thing that it hurts a whole lot of people.
So true, actually.
Like, I found myself trying to figure out which pain to deal with. Like, literally. And it's painful for me. Now it's painful for my mother. It's painful for that person who was at my wedding. It's painful for everybody who's involved. It's painful for my friends, and it's their own pain, and they have the right to feel that.
So true. That's so true.
And when they hope for you guys to get together, they have that right. It's their own journey as well, because they witnessed that thing. You called them to witness. They witnessed it, and we need to allow them to feel their pain and to respect it. You know, I felt like it's my pain, and you want to be selfish about it. You can't. You know, just as much as you can't be selfish,
you want to be angry.
You want to be angry.
Like, you shouldn't be. Wait, I'm the one who I'm allowed to be mad. What are you mad for?
It's not right. You need to allow people to be mad, and you know. And also, what I've learned about divorce is people are not their mistakes. You know, I've had to, but it goes through time. I'm not saying that you have to, you know, and we all go through things differently. I've learned that people are not their mistakes. You know, I have a fairly good relationship with my ex, and Luana.
Yes.
Because I felt like I had to get to a point where I realized, listen, all of us, we are a result of a lot of things. How we were raised, the pain you've gone through, like all of your journey, the journey in your life. And somehow, yes, we decide, okay, we think we are ready to get married. We get married, and the intentions are good initially. And then these things, they pile up, they pack up. Because the thing with marriage is like when you're with your partner, he or she's a reflection of you to some degree. And you're looking at yourself every time like, wow, this is me, yo, baba. And sometimes it piles up and it's overwhelming. And you have to get, or you will get to a place where you're able to see beyond the mistakes that happened and the mess that caused the divorce, and to see that this is another human being. Just as much as Lena, I'm another human being. And just as much as Lena, I had my mistakes. Because it's about for this person to be like, yeah, there's certain things that also led them to be. And we're not making excuses for people here, please don't get me wrong. But it takes two hands to make noise, you know. So yeah, so that's what I learned about that's what I learned from divorce, that people are not their mistakes. Like you can't treat a person because of that the way, because of their mistake. I don't even know how to pose it. They are not their mistakes. I'm not my mistakes. I've made a mistake, yes, but I'm not that mistake. I want to change. I want to be a better person. Sometimes it takes me longer, but I'm not that, you know. So yeah, that's what I learned.
If I can just add to what you said, when you said, you know, you will get to a point where you will see them different. That is when you allow yourself. That is when you are you commit to it. You commit to the process, and also forgiveness is key. Like I like that. Forgiveness is key, and you know, and that is why it is such an intense thing, and it's such an intense experience. It requires a power that is beyond just what you can see, the physical. It requires a power that is, you know, connecting with you on a level, you know what, it's not tangible, I understand. And for now, that is what I'm saying. The process helped me to really connect to God, because there are a lot of things that I had to face that I had no ability to do on my own, in my own strength, in my own physical strength. Okay, and forgiveness is one of those things that are so key to the whole process, and yet they are it's the most difficult thing to have to actually do, you know, and especially when you have not gotten to the other side where you can be able to look at a person just from a standpoint of saying, okay, this is just a human being who's made mistakes, who's on their journey, and you are also on your journey. Okay, we just happened to, and then we made that noise. We made that noise together. I can't say no, the left hand was making too much noise. We were clapping together. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, just to add to that, it is important to commit to the process.
Yeah, that's a very good point, you know, and I feel like that's why I always say that I subscribe to the Bible. Like, on my own, I would have made different choices, to be quite honest. But we all need a compass in life, you know, especially when it gets too dark. If Hunale light, you don't need a compass, you know this is where I'm turning, whatever. But if you are in the middle of a sea and you need to know where's south, where's north, where's east.
Even when there's light, you still don't know.
Even when there's light, you know, that type of thing. So you are going through something you've never gone through before, whatever. And for this instance, like it was like that. It's like a compass where you're like, hey, but I know, or even though I don't have the strength to read it at the time, sometimes it comes to my mind, you know, you need to forgive, you know. And like, you know, what you said, Jorge, what you listen to, what you watch, the community you find yourself around is very important, because those, they kind of,
they shape you up.
They shape you. Thank you. That's it. They shape you. They shape the choices you make and the decisions that you make, you know. And ultimately, you choose, hey, this is what I want to do, so, you know. So I like what you said, Ori, you know, you needed to commit to that, because you rather commit to anger or you commit to growth or forgiveness. It's up to you, really, you know, and you bear the fruit of the choices that you make, you know. So yeah, having said that, this is a very deep talk topic on its own, and
Yes.
we're gonna end here because we keep on going over 20 minutes and we want to do 20 minutes at a
Yeah.
time, but
There's still more to unpack.
there's still more to unpack.
and more to share.
That's why we did a second video. That's why we raised
It's true.
just deep. But thank you so much for listening, and thank you for the
you
people
guys.
who've been encouraging us to continue.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we really will. We don't have a lot of subscribers, but it's not about that.
It's not about that, yeah.
So we're just hoping that it'll help somebody out there.
Yeah. Please share.
Share, subscribe,
You never know.
notify button.
Yeah. Share the message, comment, like, everything. Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Until the next segment, we'll still be on this issue or on this subject, sort of issue. We'll still be on this subject, divorce, and the different aspects of it. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.